What's up, beautiful people? I am back with another word on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose. Now, this morning, the Lord woke me up at 5:30 a.m. to speak to me. The Lord gave me a dream, and this word is prophetic, so please take this back to the Lord, because not every single word that you may come across necessarily means that you are in that season. And you don't want to take things out of context or just run with what you're hearing all the time. You want to make sure that you're seeking the Lord in prayer and asking Him for clarity and confirmations. Most likely these words should already serve as confirmation, because these are things that God should already been speaking to you about. So I just needed to say that before getting into this word today. But if you're believing in it, you can plant this seed. So in this dream, I was in a home, and this woman, she had been ordering like these plants, and I saw this plant that she bought or ordered, and it was on the ground. And I asked her, like why is that on the ground? Like, what's going on? And she was telling me that every time that she tries to plant these plants, that it would die. So every time she would get it, it wouldn't work. They would be dead. And so it was to a point where she was just kind of like over it and filled with discouragement, and didn't really even want to open up the box. The box wasn't even open, y'all. It was a box on the floor with the plant inside of it. It wasn't touched because she thought it was dead. So I picked it up, and when I picked it up, I'm immediately outside now. And I begin picking off the dead layers of the leaves. And as I'm picking off these layers of the leaves, I look up and I see a beautiful plant that is a white peony. And this white peony is literally about to sprout. It's literally about to give life. And as I'm peeling off these layers of the dead leaves, I begin to see the peony in my hand come to life. And immediately the Lord started speaking to me regarding this word, and what God said was, what seems to be droughtful is turning and coming into life. What seems to be broken, what seems to not be working in your favor, what seems to not be producing fruit is the very thing that's going to come to life, is the very thing, thank you Holy Spirit, that's beginning to sprout. It may look like it's not coming together. It may look like you don't have all of the resources. It may look like nothing is just coming together. You receive it, and immediately that you see that it's dead, because every single time that you've tried before that, it wasn't working in your favor. But God says this time around it is different. This time around it is different. When you're planting these seeds, it would be taken away. Satan would come, and you would receive the word with faith. You would receive the word, come on Holy Spirit, with joy. You would receive the word with happiness, and then Satan would come and take it away. So now that when you are trying to seek the goodness, trying to have the faith to believe, trying to have the trust in God and His ability to make it come to pass, it's hard for you to accept, because you're so used to a specific, come on Holy Spirit, a specific reoccurring event of happening in your life, of things not working together for you, of you receiving the dead ends, of you receiving the the back end of things. But God is saying in this season, it's getting ready to sprout. When I looked up at the white peony, I don't know if you've ever seen white peonies, but they're round. And when I say it was about to sprout, it was like any given minute that flower was about to sprout. And while I'm peeling off the dead layers, that's what God is saying, is that He had to peel off those dead layers, because there was layers to you. There was layers to the burdens. There was layers to the pain. There was layers to the hurt. There was layers that God had to begin to pluck and remove inside you, so that, thank you Holy Spirit, have your will, so that you would begin to make room. So as God was removing these layers, it seemed to be dead. It seemed to be that nothing could grow from it. Come on, Holy Spirit. It seemed to believe, it made you believe that nothing could come greatness, nothing could come out of your deadness, your pain, your hurt. And God is saying, as I've been removing these things up out of your heart, out of your mind, cleansing you, purifying you, I was making room for the new to dwell, because it is a new season. So what seems to be dead, what seems to be old, is turning into life, is getting ready to sprout. And sometimes we will miss the very thing that God is doing because we have a certain expectation of how it's supposed to look, of how it's supposed to come. But God says, I have taken you as you are. So I'm going to use the very things that you thought were not worthy of. I'm going to use the very things that you thought nothing good could come out of. And you're going to see how I turn it around. You're going to see how I turn it around in your favor. God says, I can make something out of nothing. Come on, Holy Spirit. God says, I don't need anything. I don't need anything. I don't need man, because your identity is not found in man. Miracle signs and wonders is not done by man. It is done by the Spirit. So God says, I can take nothing and make it into something. And God is doing extraordinary things in this season. God is blowing minds. God is showing you that he was there all along, is showing you why you had to go through that process. There is a reason for every single thing that we go through. God is very intentional. God is very detailed in how he goes about taking you through processes. God knows what he's doing. God doesn't need you to stick your finger in it anymore. There is a refreshing. There's a fresh wind. There is a fresh wind. So, I don't know who this is for, but I pray that this blesses you on this day today. I pray that you know that God is with you and that God is getting ready to make something out of nothing. That is the title. I thought it was, thank you, Holy Spirit. That's what God's telling me. That's the title. Something out of nothing. So expect the unexpected, because God can turn it around in an instant. God doesn't need a thing. God can do it in a 0.5 of a second. Trust in him. Lean not on your own understanding. Submit to him all of your ways, and he will make your path straight. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in my next video.